Hey guys, how's it going? This time I'm not gonna have any art because I couldn't find any artists that could, let me use their art for this, for these two chapters that I'm doing. Yeah, I broke the 3 chapter rule because this was made during the day and I wasn't sure when brother was coming back, so yeah. Anyways, enjoy it. And also, thank you, George, for, mentioning me in your fan fictions. That's awesome. Man, the support has been really amazing. Hey guys, how's it going? Holy shit, I just realized something. It has been, I don't know, it's been 2 weeks since, no, 3 weeks I think, since my last session by now of narrating the story. And that is bad in my opinion. It's because, for one thing, I'm always in a mood to start doing narrations, like a session of narrations, but my brother surprisingly always ends up at the house. And he usually is always out. He's out for an hour, once I get home. And so, I usually I'll have all that time until Friday, because Friday he always comes back, whenever I'm home. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm glad he's not here, because I don't really like my brother as much, and I don't want him to hear me narrate. And whenever I narrate, he tends to be an asshole and just, ruin it for me and some other people whenever I do it publicly. Anyways, I'm here and we're gonna narrate some more A Beacon of Hope in a Castle of Ice. Holy shit, I almost messed that up. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I'm so excited. Holy shit. So, man, I just realized this says in the AN right now, because we are on chapter 10 right now. That's what we're starting on. I realized that there might be some lemon. It is rated M, and it's gonna scare the shit out of me if I have to read the lemon portion of it. If I do, I might ask for some additional help, because I'm not gonna be the only one just reading it. And while my sister just accidentally stumbles in and hears me moaning for no reason, all that junk. But yeah, it'd be fun to do it with some other people. Maybe it might be with some of you guys. Let's say you have a good internet connection and Skype and a good microphone. Sorry, I just prefer quality. Anyways, enough of me babbling. This is chapter 10. No hair, no dress, no logic. And this is actually in some POV that we don't know about. Maybe later on we'll know. Oh my god, Kyle Andrews' Dearly Beloved is so loud. It's a beautiful song. You should go listen to it. I'll just listen to the Last of Us one. Yeah. Anyways, let me begin. Oh well, it's the first thing in the dialogue. Begin! Professor Goodwitch screams, starting to look at her scroll and gauge the aura levels of myself and my opponent. I look ahead of me to see the 6-foot, slender physique advancing towards me. She is wearing a light brown and gold-colored strapless top that has more of a corset-like style to it, with how it hugs and flaunts her concave love handles. Above her top, she wears a long bronze gorget. Oh gosh, shit. Gorget. I think that's what it's supposed to be pronounced as, or gorget, that hugs her neck. At the center of it is a green gem that pales in comparison to the vivid green of her eyes. Above her eyes, but hidden beneath her bangs, is a bronze circlet that can be seen more clearly from the side of her head. To cover her waist and thighs, she is wearing a red A-line miniskirt, completing her outfit with a bronze bracer on her left hand that she uses to help hold her shield. I take a deep breath and begin my advance towards her. Her long, waist-long hair swaying behind her as she approaches me with a smile on her face. I am up against the girl who is on the cover of every box of one of my favorite cereals, Pumpkin Pete's Marshmallow Flakes. Why did Goodwitch have to pick me to go up against Pyrrha, a world-renowned fighter who has spent hours of her evening training me to better myself? Shield up, I hear her command me. I quickly grab my sheath from my left hip and hold it in my left hand. I draw my sword from it, at the same time making the sheath expand to display the large emblem of 2 arcs that almost resemble a crescent moon on the front of my sheet shield hybrid. My poor Croquet-Amours will be going against a deadly combination of meal. Pierre's short sword, spear, and long-range rifle hybrid. In Accio, her trusty shield that has a concave cutout on each side that gives her the ability to strike with her spear out without needing to expose herself to an attack. As Pyrrha and I near each other, she quickly starts off the attempt with an overhead strike with Mio in its short sword form. My training with her has given me a chance to hone my reflexes, but it still amazes me at how fast I am able to lift my shield up and parry her strike, and follow with a horizontal slash of my sword. Pyrrha sucks in her stomach and pushes her hips backwards, bending her abdomen just enough to avoid the tip of my sword, but surprisingly I cut a small piece of the fabric. Is she going easy on me? Pyrrha, if you're holding back, I won't forgive you. I stare at her, switching into my defensive stance, my shield out in front of me, and my sword held firmly at my side with the tip pointed towards her. I'm sorry, John. Very well, she answers, giving me another smile. This time she steps up and does the same swing. I raise my shield up again to block it, but this time she see her strike is going diagonally downward, missing both me and my shield and sending her into a quick spin. Shit, it's a feint. I realize it's too late. Her spinning motion giving her enough momentum to smack me firmly with her shield in a direct motion of a spinning back fist. The impact is too strong and sends me rolling away from her and quickly rising back to my feet. I'm guessing this is John. She truly isn't holding back now, and is already right back in my face. We begin exchanging strikes of sword and shield. One strike from me being blocked results in her throwing 2 strikes in return, flaunting her talents in dominating fight form. She outclasses me in every aspect: speed, power, cunning, but there is something I am worried about. I know all of her tricks with her shield and sword stance. I could keep up with her just barely. If she switches to her spear, I am done for. I have never sparred with Pyrrha using her spear, and I am sure that if she is going all out, she may decide to use it. If I am going to beat her, I am going to need to be a little unorthodox in my approach. I begin counting her steps, building her rhythm within my head along with the sounds of our exchanges. Step, strike, strike, step, block, step, strike, step, strike, strike, step, block. I nod my head, waiting for 2 strikes to make my move. As soon as I block her second attack, I swing my sword. She steps into a defensive stance and lifts her shield to block it. At the same time, I raise my left foot to kick her in the stomach. She sees my foot coming, but she can't use her sword to stop me. As a matter of fact, she tosses her sword in the air and brings her hand towards my foot. Some invisible force forcing my foot down to the ground and my sword strike being blocked. How the hell does she... I forgot about her semblance. Since I still did not know my semblance, Pyrrha never used hers on me during her private practice sessions. But I did tell her not to hold back on me. She has a reputation as being the invincible girl. I won't let her go easy on me and lose a prestigious title because she wants to be nice. Sorry, John. Maybe next time, she comments to me. I think she is just referencing my attempt, but by her next action, I know she is referencing the entire battle. I look at her right hand. Her recently tossed Miyu being caught, but is now in its spear form. I quickly make my advance towards her. I can't let her enter her stance. I need to keep her off balance. I rush at her with constant strikes on my sword, each one being blocked, but she needs to keep backstepping, attempting to gain enough distance to posture herself. After my 7th or 8th strike, she realizes I am not giving her the opening she wants and parries my next strike with a swift backhand slapping motion to my sword with her shield. I go wide-eyed, forgetting her amazing strength as the parry forces my arm to go over my head while I try to regain control over my sword. She used all her strength for her parry, leaving her shield arm extended outwards and her body unprotected. Seeing this, I let go of my shield and grab my sword with both hands, dragging it downwards as fast as I can in the form of an overhead slash. I got her! I screamed to myself, but yet again I am one step behind. Pyrrha purposely had her arm fully extended. As a matter of fact, she had her arm like that so she could throw her shield at my hand and disarm me completely. With my sword out of hand, I quickly make a motion to grab the fallen blade, but her spear is right at my neck. And that's the match, I can hear Professor Gwitch claim. Thank you, Miss Nikos, Mr. Ark. I lean down and grab my shield, shrieking into its sheath form and place my blade inside before returning it to my hip. As I rise up to leave through one of the entry tunnels, I feel something make contact with my shoulder. It's Pyrrha's hand. Sorry for using my semblance, John. I know it's an unfair advantage, but you did tell me not to hold back. She keeps her smile strong, and it makes me smile in return as we make our way out. It's fine. I just wish I could have gotten one hit. I scratch the back of my head as we leave the arena area. Jesus. Pyrrha decides to go to her locker and switch back into her uniform, leaving me to go back to our dorm room to change. Actually, I saw RWBY, Weiss, and Blake today, but not Yang. Didn't get a chance to ask if she's okay. As I arrive at the room, I look over my shoulder at the door to Team RWBY's room. Can't hurt to just knock, I say to myself, and walk to the other side of the hall to do just that. I give 3 hard knocks and patiently wait for someone to answer the door. I hear a lot of rumbling, stumbling, and fumbling from behind the door, making me wonder if everything is going alright. You alright in there? I asked, shortly before the door opens to the side of Yang with a messy mane and bloodshot lilac eyes. What do you want, John? She asked with a groan, clearly tired, although it is pretty close to noon. I saw you weren't in sparring practice today. I thought something happened, but it looks like you were just catching up with some sleep. Up all night? Kinda didn't get much sleep. Woke up at 5:30, went back to sleep, and here I am, she says, looking at me with half-opened eyes, clearly wanting to go back to sleep. Ah, well, good luck with that. Sorry to bother. I smile. I turn around and go back to the room. Oh, are you going to the dance with Pira? I pause and look over my shoulder at Yang after she asked the question. I haven't asked. I'm sure she has a long list of people to go with. I don't have a chance. John, you have a lot to learn. Come in. She opens the door wide and I realize that she must have slept in her school uniform since she is still wearing it and is extremely wrinkled. Man, that's bad. That's a good school uniform also. I nod and step into the room. It's actually my first time in Team RWBY's room, and the first thing I notice are their makeshift bunk beds. These things are poorly set up, one being held up by 4 strong ropes which look like they could give out at any time. The other set of beds being stacked one on top of the other with a stack of 6 or 7 bucks between each bed spot to get more separation between the two. Those don't look safe. I observe while Yang grabs a chair for me to sit in, and her taking a seat on the lower bed of the 2 beds with a stack of books. Okay, John, do you know for sure Pira doesn't have a date? Well, I mean, she's the most popular girl in school. She has to have a date already, I respond with my logical thinking. And if she doesn't have a date? Ying asked with a lack of amusement in her voice. Psh, if she doesn't have a date, I'll wear a dress, I sigh. Alright, if you ask her and she doesn't have a date, then you'll go with her. And wear a dress during the second half of the event. Fair enough? I raise an eyebrow. Ying seems all too confident that Pira is not going with anyone, but I know better than that. Deal. But if I am right and she already has a date? I ask, wanting to make sure the terms are at least fair. I'll cut my hair. No fucking way would she do that. No. I think that is not, I don't know. Yang says flatly. Thinking that she would even throw her hair into a bed is pretty intimidating, but I know Pira too well, and she has never shown any sort of interest with me. You sure about that, John? She's just my partner, best friend, and sparring buddy. Alright. How are RWBY and Weiss doing anyway? It's only been a day, but do they seem happy and all? They're fine. RWBY is all lovey-dovey with Weiss. I almost said ice. Well, it would have made sense. And Weiss is still trying to adjust. It's pretty humorous. Yang cracks a smile and then a quick chuckle before standing up and walking me to the door. Thanks for the company, John. I'll see you at lunch or dinner, depending on what I'm in the mood for. Where did the on come from? Alright, bye Yang, I say back to her before the door closes. As I exit the room, Pira's just arriving and sees me leave and say farewell to Yang, and has a weird look on her face. Hello, John. Is everything okay? Yeah, I just didn't see Yang at the arena, so I wanted to make sure she was okay. No biggie. Oh, so I was right about earlier. It was supposed to be arena. Okay. Pira nods her head and opens the dorm room door. Surprisingly, Nora and Ren have not returned yet. I close the door behind me after Pira enters. Well, here goes nothing, I guess. So, Pira, I ask, scratching the back of my head. Is something wrong? She asked, giving me her full attention pretty quickly. Well, I was actually curious as to who you're going to the dance with. It's in 6 days, you know? Oh. Well, I actually do have someone in mind. He's very sweet and appreciates me for who I am, rather than my fame. He just has not asked me yet, but I'm sure he will soon. Piers answers me with that trademark smile of hers. But at this point, I am anything but smiling. Oh, that's great to hear. Do I know him? I asked, slightly disheartened. You do, actually. Better than you know. Wait, you're going with Ren? I thought he was taking Nora. No, John. I am not going with Ren. She lets out a small laugh at my comments. Oh my god, I was laughing too. Inside. Well, I don't really know any other guys in Beacon. Oh, for the love of Remnant, you're not going with Cardin, are you? I look at her in shock, hoping I'm wrong. No, John, I would never go with someone like Cardin. He's rude, inconsiderate, and shows no care for anyone other than himself. Are you going with Yang? She asks. Look at me with an odd gleam in her eyes, something I haven't seen from her often, aside from when we are training. No, she was helping me gather up the courage to ask someone, and we made a bet whether or not that person has a date or not. Oh, and what are the terms of the bet? Pierre asks. Sitting down eagerly listening, I decide to sit down next to her while I explain. If she doesn't have a date, then I will go to the dance with said person, and I will have to wear a dress during the second half of the party. If the person does have a date, then Yang will cut her hair. The second half of the turns making Pierre laugh and fall back on the bed, gripping her stomach. I fear Yang may have your dress ready tomorrow, John. She would never make such an agreement unless she knew she was in no position to lose. Well, based on what you said, I already won the bet. I just need to go and tell Yang you already have someone in mind. Pierre's face shifting to shock and surprise before sitting up and staring at me with her beautiful jade-colored eyes. Wait, you made the bet on me? Yeah. I began scratching the back of my head, letting out a loud sigh. I told Yang that with how popular you are, there is no way you wouldn't have a date. John, I think you confused my words. Huh? The person I'm waiting for to ask me is... to me, is you. I sit there stunned, my jaw dropped. So... does that mean... dance Sunday? I asked with a nervous touch to my voice. I would be delightful to accompany you, John. I'll make sure Yang picks out a sensible dress at the very least. Pierre begins to giggle, and I throw myself backwards into the bed. John Ark, you got yourself into yet another mess. Shit. Alright, right now it's 3:57. My brother may come back at any moment during this. I'm not sure if I should do another chapter. Yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. If he comes back, then I might have to stop short, but I don't want to. I don't want to end off on a cliffhanger during a chapter, that's bad. Anyways, okay, another chapter. Let's do it. Chapter 11. When one rose isn't enough. POVs and Waishni. How it sounds like when I said that. It doesn't make any sense. Ruby Rose, where are you taking me? I screamed to the girl, tugging me along with her through Beacon's emerald forest. The moment John's sparring match with Pyrrha ended, Ruby took off with me in tow, leading me on the current mystery trip. We're almost there, Weiss. Just keep up. Keep up? You dare tell me to keep up when you're pulling me with you and threatening to tear my arm out of its socket? Ruby, if you keep this up, the only part of me that will keep up with you is my removed arm that you keep yanking on. The small redhead stops, letting go of my arm with an audible oops. She is such a task to deal with, but I already know this. I will be dealing with a much more excited girl from now on, but I have no problem with it. Ruby, where are we going? I asked, following the now walking Crimsonet. She keeps looking at the ground, and as I follow where she is looking, I see portions of cookies dropped at different parts at the base of the many trees in the forest, making which way to turn. Wherever she is guiding me, she made it a point to mark the path. After a few more turns and a 5-minute walk, we would come across a beautiful sight to behold. Oh my god, this reminds me of my story, The Blackening Rose. Except that was with Blake and Ruby. Because that was a ladybug pairing. A large lake surrounding a small island, no bigger than the jarring grounds within what? Where did it get jarring from? I'm sorry. No bigger than the sparring grounds within Beacon Academy. Within the middle of the island is a large tree that appears to be glistening with health. My jaw drops at the beautiful spectacle of nature, and at that instant, I lose sight of Ruby. I walk up to the edge of the water, trying to get as close as I can without getting my heels wet and muddy. The lake is of fresh water, and the water is completely settled, allowing me to gaze into the beautiful blue reflection and see the tree from a different angle, along with a reflection of the high noon sunlight. Weiss, are you coming or not? I hear yelling off in the distance. I look towards the voice, seeing Ruby halfway around the lake with several logs floating in the water. Each log cut in half to allow the flat orange texture to face up and create a makeshift bridge towards the island I have been admiring. I follow to where Ruby is, catching myself entering a small jog to hurry over to the girl who is beckoning me to go onto a log that I expect to wiggle and shake with each step I take. As I step onto the first one, it indeed begins to shake, and I freeze in place. The log is easily about 15 feet long, and there are 3 logs set up from here to the center of the lake. Perhaps my balancing skills are poor, but I doubt the average person could make it there without a problem. Something wrong? I hear Ruby's innocent voice ask with a hint of disappointment in my hesitation to advance. I don't want to fall in, I say, looking over my shoulder to meet the silver eyes. A look of embarrassment on my face when she begins laughing. I suppose she made this same walk with ease and expected me to have the same agility that she does, but her response leaves me in shock. I know that's silly. I was wondering when you'd say it. Ruby smiles at me and holds her hand out to help me down. She made quite the lady which she desires to. I reach out, trying to grasp her hand, but prior to our digits connecting, she slides one arm behind my back and uses the other to scoop my legs off of the floor, carrying me in a bridal stance. Ruby Rose, put me down this instant! I yell at her, but I am ignored. I feel her begin to walk and sway, and when I look over my shoulder at the ground, all I see is my reflection. I gaze ahead of us, and surely enough she is walking along the log with ease. The large tree I have been admiring coming closer and closer into view. The end of the first log is coming up, and I wonder if Ruby's legs are long enough to cross a moderately sized gap. Don't get scared, I hear her saying at me, and I look at her in confusion. Suddenly there's a strong gust in my face, causing me to close my eyes. I feel a swift movement and cling to the strong crimson-haired girl that carries me without any sign of effort. I open my eyes to look behind Ruby. We are several yards off the ground. I could spot the log where we were just on. Based on the small pile of rose petals resting at the edge, my silver-eyed dolt used her semblance to jump from the edge of the first log and bring us to a graceful landing on the island. She probably made the trip herself a few times without the logs, and simply set them up for me to use as a bridge. If she had asked me to bring Murder Aster, I could have used it to glyph my way over, but she wanted this all to be a surprise to me. I think she can actually use her glyphs without her weapon, but I'm not sure about that, so no, I can't point any criticism right there. But I mean, this is his first story, so yeah. After you, princess, Ruby whispers while setting me down on my feet. She directs me around the tree trunk to an area I could not see from where we entered or from where I was admiring the large work of nature from afar. I am greeted with the sight of a large red blanket, neatly draped on the floor with 4 large rocks holding each quarter down. On the center of the blanket is an unopened picnic basket. Embedded in the side of the basket is a black emblem of a rose. Ruby, this is flawless. I continue to stare at the beautiful scenery, failing to spot a few more hidden surprises that my charming girlfriend stowed away. I see Ruby kick off her combat boots, sending them flying against the tree prior to stepping on the blanket. I carefully step out of my heels and join her on the large red sheet, seeing myself down near the basket and a romantic redhead planting herself at my side. Glad you like it, Weiss. I wish I could say I made all the food in the basket myself, but I did ask Blake to help me this morning, she says while opening the basket and pulling out 2 sandwiches both cut triangularly and poorly wrapped in a small amount of plastic. Cold cuts? Where did you have time to get cold cuts? I look over to Ruby, who is scratching the back of her head and giggling. Actually, those are Blake's too. She keeps them in the meaty fridge. I sigh, shaking my head, not because of where the food was obtained, but because I am well aware of where it must have come with a catch. What did you agree to do for Blake? My question causing a nervous giggle from my teammate. Well, she actually didn't ask for anything too complicated. Blake just wanted me to give her some combat tips. Blake gives you 2 days worth of her personal food storage and only requested combat tips? Ruby Rose, I know Blake better than this. What does she want? She really wanted combat tips. I swear. She wanted combat tips on Yang. I quirk my brow, pondering as to why Blake would want to know how to deal with Yang in a brawl. Bumblebee! It's gotta be Bumblebee, guys. So you sold out your sister's weakness to help create a romantic lunch with me? Yes, Ruby answers, shrugging her shoulders in a hesitant and unsure manner. I smile, placing my hand on Ruby's cheek and tug her towards me, pressing my nose and forehead to hers. That is bad of you to sell out your sister, but it is one of the sweetest things you could have done for me. I mean, if it were anyone else, I would be scolding you right now, but it is only Blake. What evil could she do knowing her own partner's weakness? Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, let's eat. Hope you like tuna. Why am I not surprised being that this is from Blake? I chuckle, taking a closer look at the sandwiches, seeing the thin layers of tuna in each. I was no fan of tuna, mainly because of the tuna breath that followed. Ruby, I have nothing against tuna, but could we eat it before we leave instead of right now? I guess so, but why? Ruby tilts her head. Of course she wouldn't get what I was implying. I refuse to kiss my girlfriend while she or I have tuna breath, I say flatly. The expression on Ruby's face could only be categorized by the word priceless. I am unable to help but giggle at the expectation I built in her head. Does that mean I get one right now? Ruby asked, the little redhead already inching towards me with growing anxiousness. Not yet. My response earns a groan of dissatisfaction from her. Ugh. That would be the same. She then begins digging into the basket and pulls out a rectangular red box with the image of what appears to be some sort of thin, round wafer stick, coated in a thin layer of chocolate. If I can't kiss you, then we'll play a game, Ruby shouts in a more than cheery attitude. She has something planned, and it appears to be tied to the contents of that box. And what game will that be? I asked, deciding to go along with her game. Yes! It's called the Pocky Game! Ruby smiles, opening up the box and tearing the top of one of the 2 pouches inside. She crawls over to me and kneels over my lap, confirming what I believe was the image on the box, which she takes out one of the chocolate-dipped wafer sticks and hands it to me by the uncoated side. And what do I do with this? I asked, observing the chocolatey treat. Of course, Ruby will find something to play that involves sweets. She never ceases to amaze me with her love of junk food. You put the end with no chocolate in your mouth and just follow what I do. It's super easy. Whoever pulls away loses. Whoever pulls away loses? That's sort of abstract, don't you think? I shrug my shoulders, carefully placing the wafer in my lips and place my hands at my sides so I can lean comfortably against them and wait to get a better idea of how this game of hers works. God, if you know what the Pocky Game is. Oh, man. It all becomes clear what this game will result in when Ruby bites into the other end of the wafer and begins chewing her way down towards me. Touche, Ruby Rose. Touche. Man, I love the Pocky Game. I already agreed to her game. I will not be the one to lose. I begin to nibble my way towards her lips as well, chocolate beginning to coat the center of my lips as I brush them along the chocolate stick. My eyes are closed, and after a few nibbles I feel Ruby's nose brushing along mine. I tilt my head to the side, making our noses brush by each other. The moment Ruby's lips touch mine, she pulls my hands off the ground, making me fall flat on my back with her still on top of me. I can feel Ruby's warm hand on me, one on my cheek, the other on the back of my neck. She holds me in her clutches, licking the chocolate off my lips before she sends her wet muscle to traverse within my mouth and assert herself into a kiss with me. I begin to squirm underneath her. This is our second kiss, but she is treating it like we have done this so many times. I lift my hands up, resting them on her hips, trying to keep my body under control. But I'm starting to heat up. Ruby's now resting her full weight on top of me, munching to my lips with every passing second. We remember to manage our breathing this time, brushing our fingers through each other's hair and cherishing the light breeze that blows by. I feel a dampness drenching my thighs after it soaks through my light blue panties with a with a white heart right in the center. Okay, it's gonna get lemony, I guess. I keep kissing my crimsonous lover, then roll over to break away, my entire body shaking in response to what felt like over half an hour of lip locking. I sit myself up, taking long, slow breaths to calm myself down. Ruby laying still in the same position I put her in, most likely daydreaming of what just happened. After a few moments of silence and both of us return to a normal state of mind, Ruby sits up, smiling ear to ear at me. Well, how about we eat those sandwiches now, Weiss? Ruby asks while she reaches for one, only for me to smack her hand away. How many more of those Pockies are in the box? Somewhere between 29 and 39? I didn't count. Well, let's play once more and we'll work on finishing those before the day is done. My cheeks ran at my bold suggestion. Ruby's quick to reach for the box and pull another one out, placing the uncoated end in her lips this time, beckoning me to bite into the chocolate treat and begin round 2. Just before I do, however, she pulls it out of her lips and grins at me. Forgot to say I went round 1. You pulled away. I give Ruby a poke to the forehead and place the wafer back into her lips. I grasp her hands and hold them above her head with one of mine, cupping her cheek with my free hand and smirk at her. Well, looks like I'll need to do even the score. Now, won't I? Damn it. No, kitty, goddammit. I lean down, wrapping my lips around the chocolate wafer and begin chewing down to meet my silvered-eyed dolt in his second sweet kiss. I hold her arms above her head, trailing my free hand along her cheek, neck, hip, and torso. I don't want to touch any of her hidden passions, but I want her to know the feeling of my delicate touch. I wanted to hear her moan in frustration when I pull my hand away, to look at me with those beautiful, yearning eyes. I want to kiss her like this and do much, much more. Man. As I drag my fingers along her side, pressing in with slightly increasing pressure and strokes on my cold digits, I hear her moan and arch her back, reacting to my most modest of caresses. My traversing fingers containing the result on her hip, finding one of Ruby's tickle spots that draw out a high-pitched squeal. I let out a cheek-to-cheek smile when my unfair play makes Ruby turn away to giggle. "All tied up, Ruby Rose," I whispered to her, and happily sit down to eat my tuna sandwich. "That's not fair! You cheated!" the younger girl protests, but begins to eat her sandwich as well. I must admit, whoever Blake put in these sandwiches, they complement the tuna rather well. "All's fair in love and war, dolt," I speak after swallowing. "And this is definitely not a war. This is definitely a war." "Dolt, hurry up and eat. We need to get back to the dorm before Yang comes out hunting for me." "Oh, just one more thing, Weiss." I turn my head, looking at Ruby as she stands up. She walks over to the base of the large tree and reaches under one of the roots. A small ditch being there. Probably from some form of small grin. Grim? Yeah, it's grim. When Ruby finds what she wants, she turns around and holds out a single red rose, most likely taken from a rose bush from the guardian beacon. I take the rose from her and give her a kiss on her cheek. We exchange a loving stare and a warmth in our hearts. I now know that there is nothing that could ever make me hate or separate from my darling Ruby Rose. Oh man. That's just cute. Damn it, my cat climbed off. My cat's right here. He's so cute. Anyways, yeah, that's gonna have to do for me. I mean, I would go on longer and do another chapter because I've been doing 3 chapters every audio recording so far. But it is on a school day, and my brother might come back anytime. So I might as well not risk it and, you know, ruin the chapter moment, ruin something in the next chapter whenever he comes in, because he is kind of an asshole. Really, I mean it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I mean, I am enjoying this story so far, even though it's 2 chapters, you know, like in since the last time I read. I'm falling back in love with it again. Even though I gotta catch up with other stories, I'll make sure to like keep narrating this story. And I did say already in the first video. Well, from the first video on, I believe, I have never read the story. This is actually my first time reading the story, so narrating it is kind of special to me because I will be surprised too. And yes, you did hear those surprises just earlier. Anyways, the panties thing, yeah, I got surprised by that. that was a caught off guard moment right there. Anyways, I'm done talking. I'll see you guys later. And to support this channel, I mean, like, I am a fanfiction author and I'm already supported by a lot of people, but I mean, if you guys want to hear more about this and support the channel and everything, don't hesitate to subscribe, maybe leave a like, comment on how my reading was so that I can take note and, you know, maybe be better the next time. And yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you guys later. Stay classy. Hey guys, how's it going? This is Rose here, and I just realized that, well, I haven't been uploading as quickly, and that's pretty gay. I don't even know why I haven't done that, because I've been pretty shitty to my YouTube stuff real lately, and I've been mostly doing Twitch and trying to get some writing down for my chapters and my fanfiction, because George is not the only one with a fanfiction account. That's why. Well, what do you expect? And like, if I didn't write fanfiction, I would have never even thought about like doing this. Anyways, I realized I haven't done this in about like a month. I haven't uploaded a video in a month, and I'm sorry about that. And it's mostly just because of Twitch and my writing, and well, I've been putting my YouTube stuff on the side real recently, and that is really a bad idea for this sort of stuff. So I'm gonna get back to reading again. Like, this session was actually like recorded back in February, so that is a long fucking time ago, and that was the last audio recording I had for the 2 sessions I had in that month. So now I'm gonna have to do another audio session. I don't know if I'll be able to, because, well, I'm not at home alone now most of the time, so it's really hard for me to find time to just like read when I'm alone. Anyways, I mentioned I have a Twitch, and if you guys want to like know like when something's up or whenever I have an update, I'll put like my Tumblr link in the description below, because that's where I'm mostly active at. It's just Tumblr. And I'll just post like updates about like my stories or the my narrations and stuff like that, so that you guys aren't, you know, kept in the dark, because you've been like that for about a month by now, and some people asked me if I was dead, and I said no. Anyways, thank you again, George, for the support. It's really been amazing. If you guys are readers of his fanfic, that's, you know, you guys are awesome for taking the time to like hear this out. My first video actually has like over 200 views. That's crazy as fuck, and it's only for a narration, so I never thought that would happen in my life. And we're already at like half of 50 subs, so that's really good. I'll do like a 50 sub special. I don't know what I'm gonna do for it yet, but I'll take suggestions. It's gonna be really funny, I think, or pretty embarrassing. I don't know what it's gonna be yet. Probably I'll just read a lemon. I don't know about the lemon thing, but yeah. Anyways, I'll be streaming again today. I have a streaming schedule on my Twitch, and sometimes I do tend to like stream a bit earlier, or maybe I stream on a certain day that isn't a streaming day. So if you guys want to like watch my streams, because I just do casual let's plays for my streams, follow me on my Twitch, and you know, you'll get updates and stuff like that about it. Well, I think that's all I have to say. I'll see you guys in the next narration.